Hello students, topic for today's lecture is Indian Constitution and the separation of powers. The three organs of the government which we know as the executive, the judiciary and the legislature represent the people and their will in our country and are responsible for the smooth running of a democratic government in our society. The legislature is the law-making body. The executive is the responsible for the enforcement of all such laws and the judiciary deals with the cases that arise from breach of law. Thus, they are all interlinked organs of the government, and their roles and the functions tend to overlap with each other, as it is not possible to separate the three from each other completely. This has been the cause for not only the serious political debate in our country, but has raised many philosophical and jurisprudential debates among the legal scholars and the law fraternity, whether there should be a complete separation of powers or a well coordinated system of distribution of powers thus becomes the focal point of contemplation. It is often understood that in our country the debate about the separation of powers, as long as the constitution itself, was extensively debated in the Constitutional Assembly. It was not given the constitutional status in our constitution finally, but it does clearly seem that the Constitution of India has been making the separation of powers doctrine in mind, but no, nowhere is this explicitly stated or embraced by the constitution itself. Since ours is the parliamentary system of governance, though an effort has been made by the framers of the constitution to keep the organs of the government separated from each other, but a lot of overlapping and the combination of powers has been given to each organ. The legislative and the executive wings are closely connected with each other. Due to this, the executive is responsible to the legislature for its action and derives its power from the legislature. The head of the executive is the president, but a closer look shows that he is the only nominal head and the real power rests with the prime minister and his cabinet of ministers as in the article 74 clause 1. In certain situations, the president has the right to capacity to exercise judicial and legislative functions. For example, while issuing the ordinances acts, the judiciary too performs administrative and legislative functions. The parliament too may perform judicial functions. For example, if a president is to be impeached, both houses of the parliament are to take an active participatory role. Thus, all the three organs act as a check and a balance to each other and work in the coordination and cooperation to make our parliamentary system of governance work. India, being an extremely large and diverse country, needs a system like this, where all the organs are responsible to each other as well as coordinated to each other. Otherwise, making governance possible becomes a very rigid and difficult task. It is important to note that the separation of powers is still an important guiding principle of the Constitution. Most noteworthy is our judicial system, and of which is completely independent from the exercise from the executive and the legislature. Accordingly, the High Court and the Supreme Courts have the power of the judicial review, which empowers them to declare any law passed by the Parliament unconstitutional if it so decides. As in regard to those judges, they are extremely well protected by the Constitution. Their conduct is not open to the discussion in the Parliament, and their appointment can only be made by the President in the consultation with the Chief Justice of India and the judges of the Supreme Court. I hope the topic must be clear to you. Thank you.